May 1992. Liverpool Football Club celebrate their centenary year with a party at Wembley. An appropriate time and setting for one of the most famous football clubs in the world to mark the occasion by taking their total of appearances in the FA Cup final to double figures. Their opponents are Second Division Sunderland, but for Liverpool, the scene is a familiar one. Their supporters have made Wembley a second home. It's Liverpool's 28th match at the stadium in 28 seasons. Ronnie Moran has seen all of them. Now, after 43 years at Anfield, he has the honour of leading the team out. The bond between Liverpool and their fans is at the hub of the club's success. The new manager, Graham Souness, is following in a proud tradition. His recovery from heart surgery is quickened by his team's performance.
Now it's Molby. Knocks out wide to McManaman, who is indeed starting on the right-hand side this time. Takes on Atkinson, gets past him, and flips it into Michael Thomas. Thomas's shot! Oh, that's a fine goal! Graham Souness looks on in admiration, and in the second minute of the second half, Liverpool have taken the lead in the cup final, and McManaman, who Trevor Brookings said would do more damage on the right than on the left, got the ball in, and Michael Thomas swung his right foot, and that goes down as one of the best cup final goals. Beautifully delivered, and what about this? There's Houghton. Saunders. Thomas through the middle again. Michael Thomas. Rush. 2-0 Liverpool. So simple. And vintage Ian Rush. 68 minutes gone, and Liverpool go 2 goals clear in the cup final. And there's nobody that loves the Wembley scene better than Ian Rush.
As Mark Wright lifted the brand new trophy, it was a far cry from Liverpool's first FA Cup final 78 years earlier. King George V was the first reigning monarch to attend the cup final, and Liverpool's opponents in 1914 were Burnley, first out before a crowd of 72,000, most of whom had travelled down from Lancashire. Liverpool followed in plain red shirts. The club's colours were now firmly established. This was the last of the 20 finals to be played on the site of the old Crystal Palace in South London, and Burnley won 1-0. As the players collected their medals from the King, Liverpool were not to know it would be over half a century and 2 world wars later before they would lay their hands on the FA Cup. In 1947, Albert Stubbins marked his first season with Liverpool with a hat-trick against Birmingham City in the 6th round. His diving header from Billy Little's cross remains one of the best Liverpool goals in the post-war period. They hoped Stubbins would change their luck in the Cup. Liverpool had never been to Wembley. Their semi-final opponents were their 1914 conquerors, Burnley.
With no score after 90 minutes, Liverpool do all the attacking in extra time. They force a corner. Fagan takes it. The ball goes to Bill Liddell, who kicks it out of play. Yet another goal kick, and that's it. 120 minutes of football, and the score is 0-0.
In the replay at Main Road, Burnley's Ray Harrison ended Liverpool's cup hopes with the only goal. But on the same ground 3 years later, Liverpool beat their neighbours Everton in the semi-final, thanks partly to this long-range lob from left half Bob Paisley. His love affair with the club was to last well over half a century. But when Liverpool made their first appearance at Wembley against Arsenal, Paisley had to swallow the disappointment of being left out of the side, despite being named in the match programme. The day itself was not a happy one for Liverpool either.
Well, here we are, on the way to Wembley on the day, and what a day. The prospect was indeed a wet one. Quite a number out of the vast throng of football fans had come by car, regardless of expense. As a matter of fact, neither the price of petrol nor the filthy weather could rob anyone of their enjoyment on this outing. Then forth came the teams. Arsenal in white shorts, Liverpool in white shirts and black shorts. Taylor won the toss from Mercer, and a few seconds later the rivals were all set to go. Arsenal kicked off and at once thrust forward towards the enemy's goal. But they didn't get far, Liverpool soon checking them and clearing downfield. A pass from Logie gave Lewis the very opportunity he wanted. Arsenal were 1 up. Well, that was the only score in the first half, and royal spectators, no less than the rest of the Wembley fans, waited to see if Liverpool could make a comeback in the second period. Liverpool kicked off, and now was the time for them to get on terms. But almost at once, Arsenal were on the rampage again. And within about 15 minutes, a centre from Cox was banged home by Lewis. Arsenal 2 up.
And that's how it finished, 2-0 to Arsenal. Liverpool were still unable to carry off the elusive FA Cup, and their supporters were wet and disappointed. When FA Cup rivalry was resumed on Merseyside, Liverpool had been relegated.
Liverpool was soon forcing the pace, and less than 20 minutes had passed when the second division team put Everton 1 down with a goal by Billy Liddell. This was indeed a severe shock for the home team and their supporters. But about 10 minutes later, following a free kick, a court scored Liverpool's second. The visitors kicked off in the second half and were subjected to a resolute onslaught by Everton. Holding out against it, Liverpool returned the compliment presently and scored through Evans. Yes, Liverpool were right on top now, and when Evans did it again to clinch a 4-0 victory, all Everton's plans for Wembley were finally upset. Surprise, surprise.
But there was no bigger surprise in Liverpool's FA Cup history than their humiliating third-round defeat at the hands of non-league Worcester City in January 1959. In front of a capacity crowd of 15,000, the Southern League team were led by Roy Paul, who'd lifted the FA Cup for Manchester City 3 years earlier. Liverpool's lineup included the likes of England winger Alan Aycourt and a young fullback called Ronnie Moran. The match was played in midweek owing to a frozen pitch on the Saturday, and Liverpool, still a year away from Bill Shankly's arrival, crashed sensationally out of the Cup. Their centre-half Dick White put through his own goal to help Worcester win 2-1. It ranks among the biggest shocks in the history of the Cup, and it was a black day for Liverpool.
Well, after the game, I'd say when we'd lost 2-1 on the way home, it was a dismal journey on the way home. We had 2 buses because all the wives and girlfriends come through, and all the staff, and one bus broke down, so everybody was back on one bus, and it was chock-a-block, and it was a bad journey home, I can tell you. And it took a long time for the club to recover from that.
But Bill Shankly's appointment changed Liverpool's fortunes. In 1963, they were semi-finalists again. Centre-forward Ian St John could only hold his head as Leicester City, with a smiling Gordon Banks in goal, beat Liverpool 1-0. 2 years later, Liverpool's luck changed. Another semi-final, this time at Villa Park.
No score at half-time. And then Liverpool really come into the picture. A glorious goal by Thompson. Harris brings St John down. And this time it is a penalty. From the spot, Stevenson scores. Liverpool win 2-0.
So Shankly's team, captained by Ron Yates, were through to Wembley, but not without mishap. Injury struck down right half Gordon Milne, and he would miss the final against Leeds United.
It was an emotional time getting the cup from the Queen. And in fact, I just wanted to throw it into the crowd, the Liverpool supporters crowd, and say, look, you know, we've won it now. Share it between us.
The homecoming was overwhelming. An estimated 500,000 people packed the streets of Liverpool to see the FA Cup carried from Lime Street Station to the Town Hall. It had taken the club 72 years to lay their hands on the trophy. The championship Liverpool had won the year before and will win it again the year after. But the FA Cup victory of 1965 has a treasured place in the hearts of all Liverpool supporters. It was a watershed in the club's progress, and it's suitably commemorated today in the club museum at Anfield.
Well, on Saturday, there's a fifth round of the FA Cup, just about as intriguing as you could wish for.
2 years later, with Everton now the cup holders and Liverpool the league champions, the Merseyside Giants were drawn together in the fifth round. It was like a world title fight, with Everton training in secret at Belfield and Liverpool barely a mile away at their Melwood training ground. The two managers were titans of their time, the highly quotable Shankly at Liverpool and the more taciturn Harry Catterick at Everton. There was no way Shankly was going to underestimate the occasion.
It's a thing that may never happen again in the history of the game. Two teams meeting, one who's champions of England and one who are the cup holders. And a city as fanatical as Liverpool.
With Goodison sold out, closed-circuit television screens were brought into Anfield. 2 separate programmes were printed, and a total of 105,000 Merseysiders saw Everton's Alan Ball score the only goal. Shankly's team were growing old, and it was an FA Cup defeat at Watford that signalled a change in personnel.
We lost the game, and that was decided after the match. That was it. And to break them up and start again.
The new-look Liverpool were into an FA Cup final only a year later. Ray Clements was now in goal, Larry Lloyd at centre-half. John Toshak had arrived up front. Steve Highway and fellow graduate Brian Hall played their part in the semi-final against Everton at Old Trafford.
Lindsay. It's Highway. Rankin. And Morrissey. Now Whittle against Smith. And Smith too strong. Highway. Evans. Yes! Evans. Oh, what a good reverse ball. Hall. Hall had the simple job. And poor Andy Rankin in the goal lost that ball after playing so well.
Simpson. Lloyd. Hughes to Thompson. Highway. Oh, he scored! Highway's done it! 1 minute of extra time, and Highway sold the dummy to Buck Wilson. George to Kennedy. Radford. Oh, it's going to be the equaliser. Yes, by Graham. And Liverpool relent. Radford. To George. He scored. George has done it. George has done it.
So losers' medals for Liverpool in 1971. But it all came right 3 years later for Shankly's men. Their opponents this time, Newcastle United.
Keegan! Goals pay the rent, and Keegan does his share. Cleared by Toshak to Highway. Could this be 2? Yes!
Callahan's available behind Keegan. Beautiful ball. to Smith. He didn't have to move to get it. Paul to Smith. Highway, Liverpool showing that party pieces. He wasn't offside. Smith. Yes! King in second. And Newcastle were undressed.
A proud moment for Emlyn Hughes, Liverpool's second FA Cup winning captain. Afterwards, Bill Shankly told Jimmy Hill how winning the Cup compared to the first time.
This game finished up very one-sided, Jimmy.
Hey, Benny Hill.
We're a little bit too cautious in the first final. Liverpool had never won it, you see. But today, I mean, in the end, this game was very one-sided at the finish. It was a runaway victory, really.
Could I have a word with you about Tommy Smith, the man who's calling me Benny Hill? Because I think his achievement is really remarkable and a good guide to a lot of footballers who take a bit of disappointment and give up. He took a bit of disappointment and fought back.
Tom and I had differences during the season, but we're not like the politicians, you know. We don't harbour it on till the end, till the country drops down. No. If we'd been like the politicians, Liverpool would have dropped down. But the politicians carry on their grievances and the country falls down. But Tommy and I patched it up, and that was it. You saw Tommy today.
We're sleeping together now.
See, Tommy's nearly as fast as me now.
Shankly's retirement followed so fast that nobody saw it coming. When Liverpool next knocked on the door of Wembley in 1977, Bob Paisley was established as manager.
Oh, that was beautiful! And Terry McDermott has chipped the goalkeeper. It's going to come to Dobson. Mackenzie! Not a good punch, really. And it was knocked back in by Jimmy Case. On by Mackenzie for Pearson. And here's Mackenzie again. Oh, Rioch!
At 2-2, Everton had a possible winning goal disallowed. Liverpool escaped with a replay, in which Phil Neal's penalty put them on the way to a comfortable victory.
Now Case. It's on for Case. That's number 2. Kennedy came in. And again.
At Wembley, Bob Paisley walked out with Tommy Docherty, but this was not destined to be Liverpool's day.
There's Jimmy Greenoff's header on for Pearson. A chance on here. And Pearson is the scorer. Jones. Case. Good turn. Oh, yes. On by Macari. Smith slips slightly. Jimmy Greenoff. And is it gone in by Macari, is it?
Liverpool beaten by a freak goal. Macari's shot deflected off Jimmy Greenoff and left Clement stranded and deflated. As we shall see, Liverpool put that defeat behind them in Rome 4 days later, but they had to wait 9 years for their next FA Cup final. When it came, Everton, their oldest adversaries, were the opposition. The Liverpool captain was Alan Hansen.
The cup final, even although we'd played in big games before, the cup final is a unique experience for anybody. And I think it's simply because of the build-up. Normally in big games, the build-up's 1 or 2 games. In the cup final, it's 5 or 6 days. Press, radio, television want to talk to you. People phone you up asking for tickets. People phone you up to wish you well. You just can't get away from it. And to be fair, in the warm-up at Wembley, I knew I was in a bit of trouble. My legs were like jelly. And after about 5 or 6 minutes, I remember Graham Sharp saying to me, "It's hot, isn't it?" And that made me feel even worse. It was about 90 degrees. And the Lineker goal, the first Lineker goal, if I had been concentrating and it had been 100% in my mind, I don't think Carl Lewis would have got to the ball first. He outpaced me, but I mean, I got myself in a bad position, watched the ball instead of following it, and he scored a good goal. And for 55, 60 minutes of that game, I thought we were going to get beaten again 2 or 3-0. I thought, you know, we're out of the cup. And all of a sudden, we scored a goal, got back in the game, and the rest is history. We ended up winning 3-1.
And here's Rush, onside. was knocked over in the excitement, but Ian Rush has equalised for Liverpool. Here's Gary Stevens. And Hansen, uncertain, and the header by Sharp, and a fine save by Grobbelaar. He got his captain out of jail there. Here's Rush. Dalglish is up, so is Mulvey here. Dalglish, no, Johnston, yes! 2-1 to Liverpool. Craig Johnston. What a turnaround. Chipped in towards Lineker, Jim Beglin with the header. This is Whelan. That's Johnston. This is Rush. Mulvey again. Oh, I say, his vision there was lovely. Whelan. And Rush is on the far side. Is this 3? It is! Ian Rush again. And surely now, the double is about to be won. 3-1 to Liverpool. And Liverpool Football Club, under their player-manager, Kenny Dalglish, have become only the 3rd team this century to win the First Division Championship and the FA Cup, the marvellous double in the same season.
It was great, really, for the club, because they've been close in 1977, and here they were in 1986 actually doing it, and that probably was the climax for them, because they'd done everything else in football.
Liverpool have won the double.
2 years later, the double seemed on again. Liverpool were runaway champions, and the goal that John Barnes made for John Aldridge in the semi-final against Nottingham Forest made them look invincible. Then along came Wimbledon.
And Wimbledon may well thrive on a free kick in this position. And Sanchez was in there, and that's a goal for Wimbledon. There is Aldridge, Beardsley. Well, he might score here. Penalty. Good year on Aldridge, and here we have high drama because Aldridge, who I think might have been replaced a moment later, is the penalty taker. And he saved it!
Dave Besant and Wimbledon had upset the odds.
Nobody expected us to lose. We were red-hot favourites, but you've got to give Wimbledon the credit to them. They were a good First Division side, and 5 or 6 Liverpool players just didn't play in the day. And because of the size of the pitch and the quality of the pitch, you would have thought it was made to measure for Liverpool's passing game. But 11 of you, you've got to play in the day, and credit to Wimbledon, they came from the 4th Division and ended up winning the cup final.
A year later, in April 1989, the Hillsborough tragedy overshadowed Liverpool Football Club, the FA Cup and the whole nation. When Merseyside emerged from a prolonged period of mourning, the FA Cup final went ahead, with neighbours Everton suitably sensitive opponents for Liverpool.
This is Nicol looking for McMahon. Good through ball. He got away from Ratcliffe. Oh, and John Aldridge in a great position. And Liverpool have scored in their first attack. Watson heads it forward to Cotty. Sharp. Chances here, Nevin. And outside him a chance too, and Grobbelaar, and it's got in. McCall was in there. And Everton have equalised. Nicol. Oh, there's Rush in there. Rush! Goal! Ian Rush. Liverpool back in front. Five minutes into extra time. Ratcliffe. Watson's up. Here's McCall again. Oh, yes! It's 2-2. And it's the same player. Stuart McCall. Out. Whelan. McMahon. Barnes. Rush! Goal! 3-2 Liverpool. Ian Rush gets his second.
This time, it was Ronnie Whelan's turn to lift the cup, but the memory of the 95 who died at Hillsborough was still uppermost in most minds. A year later, another semi-final.
Here's McMahon. Cardew. And McMahon intercepting. Rush going to the left now. Onside, Ian Rush. Liverpool take the lead. And Ian Rush, the ace goal scorer, once again makes it look so easy. Well, let's see what Palace can do about it now in the second half as they attack the Holt End here at Villa Park. John Pemberton, a lovely run early on. And a chance for Barber and Venison. And it's a shot. And it's there by Bright. Andy Gray has placed the ball. That's his cross. And Bright's there. O'Reilly's there. And Palace, are they in front? Yes, they are. Staunton to Venison. Right across the goal, McMahon! Oh, it's there! It's 2-2! Steve McMahon! What a football match. Beardsley. Oh, look at this. Staunton. Penalty. Pemberton on Staunton. George Courtney has pointed the spot, and Pemberton is distraught. Barnes scores. The goalkeeper went the right way, but the kick was true in the corner. And Liverpool lead by 3 goals to 2. Thomas. And Bright's in there. And Thomas. Staunton. Gray. Gray. 3-3. Andy Gray for Palace. They're back in it. Thorne flicked it on, and it's gone in! Pardew! 4-3 Palace!
And Liverpool's chance of a third successive FA Cup final disappeared. But if 4-3 wasn't good enough, how about 4-4? In 1991, Liverpool and Everton produced an epic fifth-round replay at Goodison Park that passed into FA Cup folklore. Who would believe that Liverpool could lead 4 times in a game and still not win? It was such a gripping match that on the night, none of those who saw it were prepared for the repercussions which were to follow for Liverpool. More of that later, but first, a football match that belonged to an earlier era.
Won by Burrows. Hinchcliffe. Watson. Newell. Good challenge by Staunton. Plays it early to Rush. And he lost it, the Everton skipper. Rush in on Southall. And off the line brilliantly by Hinchcliffe. Beardsley. And it's deflected off the goalkeeper and into the other corner. Well out by Sharp. This is Nevin. Newell at the back post. McDonald's. Newell beaten to it by Barry Venison. Hinchcliffe. Sharp! Yes! Grobbelaar had hands on it, but couldn't stop it going home. Burrows having to go back a long way, and look how Liverpool are being harried. But they still keep their cool. This is Beardsley. It's still Beardsley. Yo, what a goal! What a goal by Peter Beardsley. And that's a miss by Nicol. And Sharp scores his second too. Rush in front of the goalkeeper. Played back again to Mulvey. On by Rush. He's done it again. His 24th goal against Everton. Southall as we move into the last minutes. Ablett wins it. Down to McDonald. Not sure that Tony Cotty's had a touch yet. He might get one now! What a story. Three waiting, one of them is Hussein, and it's in from John Barnes. Curler right over the top. And once more, Liverpool lead. Newell. Hinchcliffe. Liverpool had given it away again, and Cotty becomes the third man on the night to score twice.
Manager Kenny Dalglish could take no more. He dramatically resigned 2 days later. His FA Cup record as Liverpool manager included 3 Wembley finals in 4 years, 2 of them won. Dalglish was replaced at the end of that season by his former Liverpool and Scotland colleague Graham Souness, whose first FA Cup campaign as manager started with a runaway victory at Crewe. John Barnes' hat-trick was a bright spot in an injury-ravaged season for him. In the 4th round against Bristol Rovers, it was newcomer Steve McManaman who turned a replay Liverpool's way.
This is McManaman. Now he's opened up a little bit here. McManaman shot! Oh, didn't he open them up? Beautifully struck. And the Kop now voice their relief.
McManaman was to be Liverpool's ace in the 1992 Cup run. In a 5th round replay against Ipswich, things looked bleak for Liverpool when they trailed in extra time.
It's Mulvey! Oh, belter! An absolute belter from Jan Mulvey. It's 2-2. What a match. McManaman. Rosenthal. McManaman! And they're in front. 3-2 Liverpool. Fabulous comeback. It's 2 goals in 2 minutes. And McManaman this time produces the magic.
In the 6th round, John Barnes came back to lay on the winner.
Michael Thomas. Great chance again. And this time Thomas scores. It was made by Barnes. And Thomas puts it away so cleanly that the supporters now have forgotten all about the one he missed earlier. Liverpool are in front after 67 minutes.
But their roller coaster ride in the 1992 FA Cup continued in the semi-final at Highbury.
It's Anderton, a real chance for Pompey. Darren Anderton, it's there! Portsmouth are in the lead of the semi-final. This is the danger, the curler from Barnes. Michael Thomas is standing to his left as well. Venison, who might fancy blasting one, is also in the proximity, but Barnes is the man here who they'll be frightened of. Oh, it's gone in! It's been followed in! Ronnie Whelan! It's 1-1! Ronnie Whelan! Alan Knight couldn't quite get to it, and it rolled back along the goal line. And Liverpool have equalised.
After all that excitement, manager Souness calmly announced that he was going into hospital for major heart surgery. He was watching from his sickbed when Liverpool's replay against Portsmouth at Villa Park went to extra time and then to a penalty shootout.
Rolls it in. It's 1-0 to Liverpool after one penalty for each side. Ooh, it just crept in the corner. Right in the corner. Well, John Beresford has to score. Otherwise, Liverpool are in the final. Oh, that's it. Liverpool are in the FA Cup final, courtesy of a penalty shootout.
For recent signings like Dean Saunders, fullback Rob Jones and the new Liverpool captain, Mark Wright, it was a fresh experience. But for Liverpool and their followers, it meant a 10th FA Cup final, their 9th since the war. The day itself meant a lot to Ronnie Moran, who'd been acting manager while Souness recovered sufficiently to sit on the bench with the club doctor at Wembley. They saw Liverpool mark their centenary by winning the cup for the 5th time. Second-half goals by Michael Thomas and then Ian Rush were enough to beat Sunderland and ensure that Liverpool were back in European competition. For Souness, his first trophy as manager, but for Ronnie Moran, a special reason to be satisfied.
I was thinking the day before, I thought, well, the first year I was at the club, 1949-50, we got to the cup final and I was at the back of the tunnel and it was raining and I got a ticket off the club to go and see the cup final. I went down with my two brothers. They got tickets from the team they played for and we all went down, and I was thinking when I sat in my room on a Friday afternoon, well, it's 42 years from 1950 to 92, and I thought, well, I hope the results change, and it was reverse results because we lost 2-0 in 1950 and we won 2-0 in 1992. But with being part of the team, it was a great honour, especially to walk the team out, and luckily for me, Graham gave me that job because he didn't say he wasn't up to it. So I can look back now and, you know, with being a local as well, coming right through all the junior teams, reserves, first team, and back coaching the youngsters, back through all the teams, you know, I can look back, it's a good achievement for me. I can show the grandchildren now, this when I get the video out.